Films are so powerful because the memories that they carry hit you so freaking hard. One of my very first memories is a boxed VHS set of Sean Connery's Bond films. I remember being in kindergarten, drawing scenes from Thunderball, explaining to my friends, about the underwater action. I, I deeply appreciated Bond. I deeply loved Sean Connery's Bond. And the movies I watched the most, I vividly remember they were Dr. No, Goldfinger, and Thunderball. I watched them all a countless amount of times, but Goldfinger, Thunderball, Dr. No, those are the ones I watched religiously. You know how kids are. They can get done watching a movie and then put it back in again. I don't know exactly why that's the case, but it's that way for a lot of kids. James Bond was one of my very first heroes. And being 4 or 5 years old when I first watched his films, I didn't think they were old. I didn't have a concept for that. I thought they were really, really cool and fun and exciting. And I think I found them very informative. I think I found them incredibly important. And the villains, Dr. No, Fiona Volpe, and especially Auric Goldfinger, they're burned into my memory like nothing else is. Everything about James Bond is iconic. When you stop and really take it all in, it's truly astonishing. The women, the gadgets, the cars, the clothes, the one-liners, the exotic locations that blur together in memory, espionage tangled up with politics, fantasy, and violence. Bond isn't just a character, he's cultural shorthand. But for all of Bond's iconography, the villains are where the series does some of its most enduring work. The bad guys aren't merely obstacles. They're statements. From henchmen like Oddjob, Jaws, and Necros to larger-than-life figures like Blofeld, Silva, and Xenia Onatopp, Bond villains often feel just as iconic, sometimes more so, than Bond himself. And if Bond allows us to trace changing ideas of masculinity across eras, then his villains let us trace something darker. How each era understands power, cruelty, and crime. No villain captures that better than Auric Goldfinger. Goldfinger isn't simply obsessed with wealth and with gold. He fetishizes it. More precisely, he fetishizes crime itself, the act of transgression elevated into something aesthetic, erotic, inimitable, and personal. Gold isn't simply money to him, it's permanence. The texture of existence itself, power made visible. He doesn't want to spend gold or circulate it. He wants to possess it most of all, surround himself with it, and turn it into an extension of his own fantasies. The murder of Jill Masterson, painted entirely in gold, is the clearest expression of this fixation. One of the most hauntingly sexy images from the entire Bond canon. She's displayed. Her corpse is a shimmering centerpiece, transformed into a literal trophy. It's unsettling precisely because of how deliberate it is. Crime here isn't really about survival or even profit. It's about expression. It's sort of like a rigged game, and he has fun. We see him have a lot of fun, planning, scheming, and most importantly, cheating. That attitude carries directly into Goldfinger's physical presence. He's big, A man who seems to exert authority simply by occupying space. His power feels bodily and cartoonish before it's intellectual. And then there's Oddjob. His perfect complement, smaller yet bigger, mostly silent, very precise, extremely lethal. Where Goldfinger luxuriates, Oddjob executes. Together, they form one of the most visually coherent villain pairings in the series, a balance of excess and efficiency that feels effortless. Goldfinger's psychology completes this picture.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
It's an iconic line, but it's also revealing. Goldfinger doesn't see Bond as a rival or a personal nemesis. Bond is a variable to be removed so the plan can proceed. And the plan itself is what matters. Making gold radioactive isn't just clever, it's visionary. It's criminal imagination operating at scale. Goldfinger doesn't want to steal the world. He wants to change how the world understands value and place himself at the apex of value itself. He's a true criminal visionary, an innovator. That's what makes him such a turning point for the franchise. After Goldfinger, Bond villains grow larger, stranger, and more ideological, but they're all responding to the template. They're all responding to the template he helps establish. The confidence, the spectacle, the belief that crime can be ambitious, stylish, even visionary. And that's his legacy. What makes a villain iconic isn't so different from what makes a hero iconic. It's all about clarity of desire. Goldfinger knows exactly what he wants, and the film never apologizes for how excessive or morally repellent that desire is. He isn't conflicted. He's misunderstood. He's complete. Bond survives him, of course, but Goldfinger defines the terms. He teaches the series how to imagine evil as a visionary cartoon. Bond doesn't just evolve across eras. So do the villains who give him meaning. Goldfinger is considered one of the very best Bond films for good reasons. Everything it does perfectly. It's the film with the Midas touch. Thank you for watching me. I am the rejected Bond villain.
I did enjoy your briefing. So did I.